down here today. Usually I'm up there.
Switching it up.
Seminole State family. This is Nicole from the library. I am joined by...
That's you,
I'm
Ross.
That's me.
Oh, you're over there today, Brady Bunch style. Okay, Information Jason. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We have some people joining us today. This is great.
We do. And I know that they mentioned that noise startled them at the beginning, and I'm sure then our little intro video startled them as well. So sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry.
If you haven't tuned in before, we party over here. So, okay. So today we are talking about grind and find. We're searching for lost database articles. It might be an article that you read a month ago in preparation for your assignment, and now you can't find it again in the database. Or maybe you went to Primo, our search engine, to find it again, and Primo is telling you, sorry, there's no access to that article, access denied. And you're like, what? That's ridiculous. I accessed it before. I need it again.
So just give up and walk away. Just throw it away. It's all over. The end of the world. No.
Oh, is that outro video? Is that cue for outro video, Jason?
No, that's not it. No, we have to do the show. No. So if that does happen, we want to talk to you and give you some different alternative routes to get to that location. Right, Ross?
Yeah. I mean, Nicole's right. One of the big problems we've been having recently, and you might have even noticed this yourself if you've been doing some research, is that our catalog, so to speak, here that we use, our search system, is not connecting with database articles all the time properly. I pulled one up right here. This is an article I found in a search, and when I pull it up, it says there's nothing found. Even if I was to log in here and go through this whole process, it's still going to tell me it can't find the article. And that's been happening kind of all over the state right now. It's not unique to our college. Right there, it says there's no available services for it. But it should have never shown up in our search if there were no available services there.
Yes. So we're looking at, obviously we're talking about, we have tough technical difficulties right now. Like I can't talk. That's one technical difficulty.
There it is.
But sometimes our systems do have little issues. Anything that's technology based, that can happen. But once again, that's not always the situation. Sometimes, once again, you found an article and you need it back and you didn't save it, like a different, like in some way. So we'll talk about that a little bit, how you can kind of prevent some of these situations. But obviously sometimes like hindsight's 2020. So, sometimes you can't avoid that, but we'll tell you how to get out of that pickle.
Yeah, and as you're putting your name in the chat there, just drop a name in there, and we want to say hi to you. And let's focus on the screen that we have and not lose. We're the three of us here are information specialists. Let's not lose the information that we have. So Ross is going to take us through what the information is here and how we can get to that destination. One quick note, just note the top bar there. We do have a sign up there that says we're having technical difficulties. So we're aware of it. It's the same thing you ever go to check your bank account. Sometimes the bank is down online. I mean, this is it. This is the internet highway, right? So sometimes these glitches happen. We're trying to fix them. But in the meantime, Ross, what can we do? How do I find this article?
Yeah, I mean, so we have a lot of information to work with right here, because even though it didn't connect, it still gave us everything we need to know to go through and find this source right here. Like all of this stuff that I've highlighted, maybe I'll even make that larger. All of that is going to be helpful to us. That's the citation information. And it's going to tell us things like the title and the authors. And even that DOI number might be helpful, but even little things like the journal name is probably going to be helpful, and when it was published and which issue it was published in. We're going to mine this for a bunch of information. So it's not all lost that it came up. And one of the first things I like to do here is, if I know that this is from a particular publication, well, I could go up and I could restart our search and we could try to see if this publication shows up anywhere. So one thing you can do in our search system here is, I went too far out of it here. Pretend I didn't do that. But one thing you can do is up in the top, if I know this came from a particular journal, I can use this journal search. And if I put that in there, the Journal of Latin American Studies, what this tells me is it should definitely be in our library databases somewhere. And hopefully if I click on this button, it's going to tell us where to look for it. This is one way we can go about finding this. And I can see, the Journal of Latin American Studies, that's the the journal that I'm looking for, and it's available online, we can see if this is working. This is another way we can do this.
Yeah. And so this link may or may not, like the other one is broken. This one might be broken too, but maybe not.
No, this one actually worked.
Perfect.
It told me that this particular journal, the Journal of Latin American Studies, should be found in this database, the social science database, at least from the year 2001.
What year are we in?
That's, yeah. Well, that's the problem with the article.
2024.
The article that I had found earlier was actually from 1988.
Oh, it's not going to work. According to the science, it's not going to work.
And that may be why it didn't show up in our, as being available, is because we technically have access to that journal. We just don't have the right year for that article. So that's one thing that could have been happening there. Another thing that might have happened there is, sometimes it just doesn't connect properly. So let's say I found this article. This is from a different search I did in the same search system that we're using here. This is Primo's, what we use here in the library here. But if I was to click on the article here and get to that same page that we were looking at, this one does tell me it's available in a bunch of places. But
and those are all database names, right? Okay.
Yes. And this is what we should have seen with that last article. It should tell us all these different places where we could find this. And if I wanted to, I could just click on one of these and it would take me to that source. But pretending I didn't have that information, I've seen this happen a few times in the last few weeks. I have all the details down here. So again, we could try to retrace our steps. But what's really cool is if you scroll down to the bottom here, we're going to get some more information. And sometimes it'll even tell you right here, the source. These are all different databases where this article lives too. So even if it wasn't connecting properly in that initial search, maybe we could work backwards and say, oh, I want to look in this Gale Health and Wellness database. Maybe we could work towards that goal by going back to the search, going to our databases. We're going to manually choose where to start looking for this.
Okay. And just to reiterate real quick, the system that Ross was just in, that is what when we say Primo, that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. That's the library search engine. Okay. So Primo stuff, a lot of the links aren't working. So Ross is going to the databases link, which is available on the front page of the library webpage, which he just was at. Can you go back? Okay. It was there.
Yeah. Oh, I went too far.
It's okay. And it's also at the top of Primo. So where's that? One destination, multiple paths. So if you're going to the databases, there's a couple different ways to get there. If you're trying to find one single article, there's lots of different ways to get there. So
and two other things too. One, this is statewide, so this is happening at a bunch of different colleges, throughout the state. And two, we're trying to explain to you that yes, we understand research can be difficult. It can be cumbersome. You can hit roadblocks and brick walls, but we're trying to smash through those, or at least go around them. And so that's what we're doing.
Can we get a sound effect on that smash, please?
Hey, Kool-Aid!
Well, that's an outdated reference. I get it. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But so knowing which databases it came from, if I went down here and I saw that, this health and wellness one, what I could do is I could go to that database list right off the bat and start looking around. Where is that health and wellness? There it is. So what I could do then is I could go to that database. Going back to that article, I have some information. I know, the article's title. I know who the authors are. So I might just go to that database directly and manually start searching for this article's title. And there it is. So, even if it doesn't automatically connect you with it, we can still use that information to work backwards, get to that article there.
Good.
Now, if you do it this way, let's say, and even you still can't open the article, sometimes the databases work differently off campus. We have a chat service where yesterday in chat, I actually had to do this with two people. I went and did this process Ross just did. And then I actually downloaded a PDF of the article to my computer and I sent it to them in chat. Let me go ahead and if you can, if you want to keep that screen up there. I was I don't know what to do.
What happened?
All right. And everyone that's LibChat.
Okay.
Everyone that's in that's watching right now, if you need FYE credit, don't worry. At the end of the program, we're going to pop in a attendance URL, so you will get your credit. So just a heads up. Thank you for being here and for watching, and we will get that to you. If you go through a couple of this one destination multiple pass and you still cannot get the entire article, please contact even 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that includes over Thanksgiving break. Please contact LibChat. Please go to LibChat. It might not be a Seminole State librarian, but we have some librarians all over the world that are on there, and they can help you. If you have to, we can download a PDF of the article and basically send it to you in LibChat so you have it. We do appreciate you going through the steps of trying to get it yourself, because obviously we help you, but we also help you learn how to help yourself with the research process. But when you come on that emergency, you know, we can come through with a PDF download.
Right. And I think Jay has a question, right? Jai?
Yeah.
I think it's Jai. Jai says, I've been trying to work on finding a source that an author quoted in the journal, and I haven't figured it out. An investigation is afoot. So I've been trying to find a source that an author quote. So the author quote, it's the first one, quoted a source in the journal. Do you have any more information that you can give us?
Even the tiniest piece of info can help.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have a part of the title or author's name or part of the topic that.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, we can start to work on that if you get us some more information.
Gotcha.
And then this process that Ross just did, and this kind of goes back to the banner I just put up, even if like Ross had the exact title because he pulled it straight from Primo, the library search engine. But sometimes if it's the case of, I looked at this article a month ago and I was preparing my outline for my paper and I can't find it. Can you think of even a tiny piece, even if you don't know the whole title? Do you have a part of the title? Do you have some inkling of even the type of name the author had? Or maybe you know that the article was about something weird. There's like a weird part of the topic that's probably unusual and not in a lot of articles. That can help you or help us help you search for that article blind in a database. Because sometimes that's what you have to do is go in there and do a little hunting.
All right. So for Jay, how are we figuring this out? I think we need a little more. You're trying to find a source that an author quoted in the journal.
So you're trying to find the original source then?
Oh, it should be. Okay. So, okay. And
so let's go ahead and pop that up. Let's pop that up and let's start going from there. And then if anyone else, screen time and family. So somebody has quoted that, and that's what we're trying to find.
It's probably in, maybe we can find the reference at the bottom of the paper of the article that it's quoted in. That
and
might
then
help
just
us.
to be clear, Jay, you know that this exists. Are you on a like a treasure hunt? Are we trying to find this, or you're looking to confirm that it exists? Sometimes these assignments come from professors and we don't get the exact assignment, so we're not clear on what needs to be done. So I'm curious if you were told that you should be able to find it, or if that's part of the assignment.
Ross, are you searching did you search the title?
Okay, it knows that it exists.
I did. Yeah, this article exists, but it's another one that came up with that error. It told me that there's nothing available for that article, even though it came up in our own search. So I would go through those same paces. I would take this early childhood education journal first and see if I could learn some information about that publication. And maybe I just drop that in, or I clicked on the wrong one. But in this journal search, I'm going to see if it will tell me where I should start looking.
Ross, pop open your Google Scholar Springer 2022. We should be able to find it there on researchgate.net. I found.
Well, that's another thing you can do there, because I see that it is available online as well. So Google Scholar is a really awesome tool, but yeah, like sometimes you can always just run a search through scholar.google.com. Even if you're not finding your source, and see if it happens to be available online somewhere. What Google Scholar will do is take these citations from like millions and millions of them from different universities and try to find them with free versions online. That's what everything we're seeing there from this researchgate.net. That's kind of a platform where researchers can post their articles and post their studies and stuff like that. Almost like an academic social media kind of thing. Here, this is from some kind of university page. So I can see that this is probably from, maybe a open access publishing or something, or maybe it was a thesis paper or something. But anyway, yeah, I can see that article there. If we were to click on that PDF, and Jason posted it there as well.
And you're linked, like you have the Seminole State Google Scholar link.
Yeah, that's what this full text is. And that's how I knew there was a problem. Because if I click on that full text, that's a little bit more advanced, but we can talk about that in a minute. That should send me back to the library. And that's how I knew that there was a problem, because it did the same thing that we saw with the last one. It says there's nothing available.
And the top one works. So Jay, real quick, checking in. Is that your article? Is that what we're looking for? I lost audio. Uh-oh. Is that your article? I don't know how to do it.
Well, Ross, pull it back up, like the full text, because you could get to the full text from that Google Scholar search, right? Like you clicked on the PDF of it.
If I click on the PDF, sure. Yeah, this is it looks like the author has just dissecting the URL a little bit. I can see that the author they have the account on this, so they must have permission to put this there.
Okay. So I'm thinking at the references, you see how at the bottom of a journal article, there's the references of like basically what's quoted in the article. That's got to be one of these. So the process comes to, how can we help Jay find which one of these? I think. Oh,
that's the article. Jay says yes. Now wait, is our mission accomplished, Jay? Can we check this one off the list?
Well, I think we got to look at the in-text citations, but we have to ask Jay if where is the quote? Like what quote, and then if we find the in-text citation for that quote within this article, then we take that in-text citation, connect it to which one of the references does it match at the bottom. And then I think we could probably get it for Jay.
Yeah, if you knew which one it was. Like this one actually does a great job. Like they have their in-text citations are all linked to their reference list. So if I click on that 2017, it's going to send me directly to that source.
So checking in the chat here, it's the File and Ryan source. So when you do a search of that, we can see there's an in-text citation on page floopity floo flappity flea. It's the very first one. It's the very first page, and it says File and Ryan 2014. Is that correct? And then you can hot link to the 2014 when you click on that right there. And there you are. Okay. Perfect. And that'll drop you down as the in-text citation will do.
Great. And now
point you down to the full article, and then there's your full article. And then can we click on there?
Now this is the original source.
Wow, life happens. Hey, librarians, high five! Librarians, high five! Nobody's high fiving. Okay, there we go. We got it. Okay, we got it. All right, great. And thanks for the assist, Mimi, on that. We appreciate it. And Jay, we hope that you're good to go on that. And you see that it only takes us a couple minutes, but the more information, the tiniest little minuscule, the little kernel of the little sand of information, we get it. And we actually showed you what we intended to show you, which is we hit a roadblock, we circumvented that roadblock, we drove around it, and we found it. And this is great. And we're not getting confirmation from Jay, but we hope this is what you wanted.
Oh, no. Jay said audio is back.
Oh, audio is back. Oh,
flawless victory.
Oh, love it. Okay.
All right. So that was like, okay. So that we just did that in real time. That was awesome.
Oh, that's great. Well, I think we need to, check into our commercial now, because it's
That was for you, Jay. Since your audio is
that was for you. We hope you enjoyed that. That was
we probably just blew their eardrums out.
Right? They're like, uh-oh, what happened? All right, perfect.
Hey, so you're good. Here.
So just a quick rewind. When you hit the roadblock doing the research, don't worry, reach out to a librarian or try to use some of the other information that you have, which could be the title of the article. As you said, Jay, the authors, right? And we were able to find it. I put that in a Google search, and that came up with Google Scholar, which directed me to this. And as you saw, if you clicked on the full text, unfortunately, with the hiccup on some of these links, it took us to the library. Primo, no good. And then we went to the other one. Scam caller, no.
Oh, it's my friend Scam.
Scam.
He calls me all the time. Tell him I said hi. Well, you're not going to answer. Oh,
no,
man.
You guys know how I feel about
Punk
Scam.
cold.
Punk. Can't stand it. But
Okay.
I just evaluated that information, and I said that information is no bueno. So there you go. We're always evaluating here. All right. Does anyone else have any questions on the line here? It looks like we've had 10, 12 people here. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
I want
awesome.
to keep helping you. And we mentioned the chat service, and we mentioned about the Primo. And yeah, I think that's a good piece of advice when you're stuck. You just can't give up. You just have to keep looking around. And the other thing too, Ross, do you still have the tab open on that article? I would go down and even use those references if I was still researching this topic for something else, because those are all, many of them are DOIs, academic journal articles. And by the way, this was from 2021. So I think it's still pretty current. I think it looks pretty good on this. Looking at all the information, this is a good article that we found. So, yeah, Michael, I know I got a scam likely. Well, is it an unknown caller or a scam likely? Is that tomato or tomato? What is it? What's the difference?
All right. So, fellows, we did have grab permalinks. We're going to talk a little bit about that because that kind of relates into this topic.
That's something
and also no doi.
Yeah.
We'll
No,
get to that in a moment.
So actually, we just saw in that article, you can see how they're including the DOIs for a lot of articles. Now, DOIs it stands for Digital Object Identifier, and they're a relatively new thing. I say relatively new because I think they've only been around since 2009 or something. So some articles are naturally not going to have them because they were published before they existed, but a lot of new scholarly articles will get a DOI attached to it. And think of it like it's a dress. It's like you could find this article anywhere based on this information. And this article did a really good job of linking those DOIs. So that's another way you can go about trying to find a source, is if I took this DOI and use that URL, it's going to send me to that publisher's site, which may get us access to that publication. Most of the time it won't, though. But at the very minimum, it can get us all of that same publication information that we've used before, which then we can start following those steps again. There's also these DOI searches, like the DOI.org is like the main one. So I could take a DOI. Does this article have a DOI? Yes, it does. I could take this and plug it into a DOI search, and it theoretically should get me back to that same exact place where we were looking before.
Right. And I always like to say, you said address. I like to say more of a social security number. Like that is a main identifier. That is never going anywhere.
Because more than one people can have the same address, like from if they move or buy a house or whatever, but you're not supposed to switch social security numbers.
No, but at the same time, this will always direct you back to the original publication, meaning that many of these publications you'll find on different databases or this and that, and then they pay and they have an exchange program or blah, blah, blah. The point is that unique DOI is valuable, and it's a clear evaluation indicator to know that this is a credible, reliable source. So when you see a DOI, that is the Lambo, that is the that is the Ferrari Testarossa, like whatever. That is the prime. That is like that's
well. Then where does that put permalinks? Where do we put permalinks in that?
The reason I bring up permalinks is because we use a lot of our databases run from this company EBSCOhost. And I think they do a really good job with their tools, but they have a really pesky problem where I get twice a week, I get students who will send me this URL up in your search bar. EBSCO databases will never allow that link to work again, ever. Like,
and some others.
Even if you tried to click that link again, it wouldn't work because it's tied to your unique login at this moment in time on this computer, all that stuff. So instead, what you want to do, if you're ever using one of these databases, try to find what's called a permalink, because this link will always work when you use it. It's kind of like a stable address. It's never going to change, all that kind of stuff there. So if you get into a pickle like that where you don't have anything but either the DOI or something like that, or if you only have that link, try to trace it back to this permalink and see if that will work.
Ross, the permalink doesn't let you circumvent or go around SSO, the single sign-on, correct?
No,
you're still going to have to sign on, right?
Correct. It's going to prompt you to log in with that link, but that link So what I'm saying here, I guess, is if your professor ever asks for a URL for a citation or something like that, use the permalink, because they're going to be able to open it again, and that one in your browser is just not going to work.
So Jai has a question. Jai, on the ball here. We love the participation. So when you're quoting, like in your works cited with the permanent, yes, the answer is yes. Can I get an agreement here?
Mhm.
Definitely, because Ross, if you go, can you go up to the URL that we have now and look how long it is and just how wild it is? It's pretty long. And when you put that in your works cited, it's going to go blah, 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 blah. And then what does the permanent link look like? Yeah, that's exactly how the link is going to go. Blah, blah,
I
blah, blah,
understand
blah,
it better when you make the sound effect.
blah, blah,
Thank
blah,
you.
blah, 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 blah. And then the permalink, does it cut off there at the?
Yeah, it will.
Yeah,
But the permalink is much shorter.
correct. And by the way, can you zoom in just so you're looking here? Another thing that we look at immediately, I mentioned a moment ago, if you see a DOI, like we know immediately, look at the EBSCO host. Do you see the EBSCO host right in there towards the beginning? That's a clear indicator that that's going to be a library database, and that the chances of you, the student, getting a library database from our library are very, very high, right? Because you have access to our library. But we know it's going to be EBSCO. Give us another high-profile car. As another DeLorean, we mentioned Back to the Future reference. Did we mention Back to the Future?
I think
A
like
Lambo. A
DeLorean.
Lambo's top of the line, isn't it? No, a Bugatti.
Bugatti. And then what's the one the not Maybach, but the
Maybach.
Bentleys
Ooh,
are like
yeah.
handmade or something.
There we go.
Like
So
as a
anyway,
part
that's
of
what
it.
we're saying. We, the librarians and the professors, can clearly see the EBSCO host. So use the permalink. Don't use the full long one. And as you're scrolling down there, Ross, we have a pretty good page. Is there also the DOI on there too? So
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So we use that one, right? So you can use
the DOI.
This is the information that we as information professionals look for, right? And you can look at all the valuable information on this page, especially the multiple authors I like. And those multiple authors look like they have emails. Can we email them? Let's scroll up. Can we see?
Well, if I click on, that one lists an email address right there, but I bet if we click on them, we'll get a little bit of information about the authors, about all their different publications, all that kind of stuff there.
Right. So we always want to know.
Hey, we got an LOL on the car references. Thanks, Morgan, for the shout out.
Clearly, we'll never drive any of those cars or be able to afford them, but at least we know them, right? When you Maybach. Okay, great.
All right, awesome.
Anybody else? Any questions? This is what we're here for. We do this every week, and all these videos will be permanently housed on our YouTube channel. And we appreciate you checking in. We're not wrapping it up yet, but we want to just see if anybody has any other questions. Right.
And remember, we just have to do a little grinding to find. That's what we did today.
Grind and find. Was that it? Is that how we rehearsed it?
Chef's kiss.
That's a little jingle there. A little jingle. All right. Grind. And sing it.
Fine.
Okay, no. Ross didn't even jump in.
All I can hear is the Kylie Jenner "Rise and Shine" in my head, and that's
how does that go?
That's where I'm going with it. It's like it was like "Rise and Shine." Any Gen Zers out there willing to type up in the comments and let me know? Thank you.
For the sake of argument, mine was clearly different. I think Jai is saying "got it" as if to say, "Don't sing anymore, you guys. Don't sing anymore."
Listen, Morgan, yes. Actually, it's kind of a nice little.
It's a little more gentle. It's a little gentler.
It is.
Grind, grind. Lower the music. Grind and find. Wait, we need the
Print
link.
it.
They need the link.
Never mind. They need
the link. We are almost at an out.
I'm copying the URL.
Okay, here's the URL. Okay. Here's the link.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I'm the producer, one of the producers on the show, that I could stop the outro.
I stopped it.
I thought I did too.
Okay, so we'll be back here in a minute. All right, so we're gonna get you your link. Okay,
we're still running live. We're still live. So
this is a long link. Here are the directions. Log into your Raider Connect. Click on the link once, and it should tell you. And in fact, I will let you know when you're good to go. Okay.
Does that link work? It dispersed between multiple.
Yeah, it did. Cut it up.
And let us know.
We're getting Anya's giving us an LLL. Okay, here's another option. Let me give you the QR code. If you think the QR code's easier, go ahead and share my screen, Nicole. And if the QR code's easier, let's just put that up. So in the chat, you have the link, and here's the QR code. Okay. And I will keep it.
Okay. Ooh,
Okay.
uh-oh.
That.
Got it. All right. And then anybody that is unable to do it this way, maybe you're already on your phone watching the stream, let us know. I feel like we've put this attendance URL in the comments before and it was fine. I'm really confused. It's so long.
Well, here's the deal. I will look at keep that screen up.
Okay.
Keep the screen up. I'm gonna go over here. I'll give me 1 moment. Give me 1 moment. All right, you done with the screen? Let me go back 1 second here. We had the perfect outro. I sang, and then everything's ruined.
It was beautiful.
We're fixing it. It was beautiful. I'm fixing it over here. Here's your tiny URL for today.
Yeah.
This will work, my friends.
Good,
Here we
okay.
go. I made a tiny. Watching on your computer. All right, friends.
Oh, cool. You did a tiny URL in real time. Thank you. Jason saved the day. Oh, thank you for that find and grind. That grind and find. Grind and find.
Oh, I flipped it. Find, then grind. Grind and find. All right. Everyone should be good to go. You have the QR code. You have the link.
We're really getting good.
There we go. There you go. We're academic professionals here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye.
That's the outro. You're not hitting the thing. Bye.